Hello, and welcome to the not live Subversion Live after show. It was a fun little stint, and now we're back to our pre-recorded days. But I'm CLC. It's Subversion Live Season 3, and it's Episode 3. And it's time to recap the episode with two amazing guests to talk about their thoughts, their suspicions, all that fun stuff. Before I bring them on, if you've not watched the episode, you should go do that first, because everything we're going to talk about is not going to make a lick of sense to you. I'll say the same spiel I always say in the YouTube description. There's a link to our Instagram and our Discord. The Instagram's cool and all, whatever, cool. But come hang out with us in the Discord. We talk a lot more in there. So come hang out with us. Other than that, yeah, let's hop right on in with our two guests who they're very well acquainted, and they're both Subversion alumni, one online, one live. Our live alumni from Season 1, gone too soon, is Simona. But you've proved yourself up. You've gone on to other mole games and done quite well. So
I would hope so.
The success there is noted. So she's still qualified nonetheless. And joining us from Subversion Online Season 2, which feels like a fever dream, a long ass time ago, is Zach Park.
Season 2 is still the best cast. And I'll say that.
Dare I say I would agree with that.
Might not have been the best season, but
I think we always talk about season. It's hard to compare the seasons because it really is like four different experience. I mean, All Stars. Let's not talk about her, but the four other online seasons. It's like season 1 was like ha 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 ha, let's do this, but like, what do we know what we're doing? Season 2 was like, here are a bunch of people who don't really know them all, and like it was fun watching y'all like learn it as y'all went. Season 3 was like the opposite. It was like a bunch of fucking gamers came to play season 3, and then season 4 was just chaos incarnate. Like that, like anything that could have gone wrong in terms of like info and what people thought. People were surviving on zeros half the season. Like that season was just full of ridiculousness. So it
would be nice to survive on a zero for sure.
Shut up. But like season 2 was just fun because it was fun watching 18 people who like really had no fucking idea what they were doing, like all kind of learn in the moment. And it was like still like peak COVID, so y'all had nothing else better to do besides hang out with each other, and it was a good time. I think season 2 really like aged really well. Maybe some other seasons not so much. But I will always support season 2. But let's talk Subversion Live Season 3. Before we hop into the episode itself, is there anyone on the cast? I know we were joking that there's a lot of people on the cast, and I mean, that's not really a joke. That is the truth and honest fact. But like anyone that is catching your eye that you really want to highlight before we hop into the episode proper.
I mean, I'm a big Steph fan, huge Steph fan. We played BBH together. And I don't know, she's such a star entertainment wise, and it's like I get why the VL was such a big fan of her then. I'm a big fan of her now. Her dress in this episode is absolutely stunning. But no, she's just like the queen of entertainment, but also I think has a better handle on the game than she's fully letting on, and I'm excited to watch her hopefully go a lot farther this season.
So the one person we do have to give a shout out is to Miss Emily. Simona and I both know her from our side of the fandom. She is the most chaotic person you'll ever meet and wrapped into a size 3 shoe. And I just know that like going into this, she was going to bring a lot of drama in this episode. We can kind of see that she is not playing around with anyone else's business besides herself. So I was really excited to see that she was on this cast. I was like, it made me really want to go. Like, I rewatched the past 2 seasons leading up because, you know, my memory's not the best. So I was like, let me rewatch. Now I'm going to be really excited for season 3 to come out.
Yeah, Emily's such a fun personality because I think she just, and I said it in Mole Watch when we did it with Carrie and Butler and Mark, she's so underestimated. I think people just see her. I mean, she's teeny tiny. Like, she's teeny tiny as is, but like she's young. You know, while she is in her 20s, I think at times people like she has interests that are maybe a little bit more younger even than her age range as well. So I just think people just don't expect a lot from her. But she's so smart when it comes to this format, and she really portrays her thoughts really well on camera as well. She just gets the game and she knows what she wants to accomplish.
Mhm.
I mean, let's hop right into the top of the episode. I mean, people have been asking what this box and the envelopes are. It was basically in the envelopes, it was very escape room coded, trying to solve a cryptogram to get a phrase to unlock a box that led to a different phrase, all these little fun things. Ultimately, it was all fake. It didn't mean anything. But Emily's the one behind it all. She brought all that from home,
So
hid it
fun.
around the house, and Ian, like, it took over Ian's life that first day. Like, he was very devoted to. I mean, I'll give him credit. He cracked it all. He solved it all. So like he got to the end of the rainbow, but the phrase that he found just like didn't mean anything. So, but
I have a question. Did she bring that up pre-season that she was going to do that? Did she just kind of like, hey, here's this, and then
showed up with it, and she's like, "Can I hide it?" And we're like, "I mean, go for it, babes." Like, we as production will not confirm or deny that it's real or anything, but like, we can't help you any more than just standing there and smiling when people come and ask us about it. So yeah, I mean, you go, Simona.
No, that's fun. I mean, I think because Carrie did something similar season one, right?
Yes.
She brought some decoder thing, but this is definitely a more fleshed out version, which I think is really fun, right? Hiding codes and envelopes and whatever, because every season there's a new layer to everything. And so it's not, beyond the scope of what's possible that there's some, but I don't know, right off the bat, I would be a little hesitant to believe something is going to be out there immediately. So a bummer that Ian, was on the wrong trail. I was an Ian fan, but
can we talk about the exit interviews of right after they
Absolutely, of course.
He did not like that man. That poor man did not deserve all that hate. I was like, oh, I was waiting for like the first goodbye messages, like, oh, we're sad to see him go. And it was like, bam, another one, bam, glad he's gone, bam. I was like, maybe the edit didn't give him that he was not that liked, but I mean,
that was pretty much the consensus. And again, and we talked about it on the last after show with Sam and Megan, and they had kind of clocked how people were talking to him in episode 2, and they were like, I'm getting the vibe that people don't want to work with him and that he's not very well insulated. And that is because he was so focused on the box and the envelopes that he kind of isolated himself away from the cast a bit. And that in itself was contentious because for the few people who thought it was real, they wanted in on what's happening, and he was not willing to share. So like for the few people who thought it was real, that was irritating to them. And for the people who knew it was fake, they were kind of like, well, now you're just like not even talking to me. You don't want to even exchange anything. So like just from a collective, when everyone's like, oh, only one person's going home, a lot of people were like, I don't have any connection with him. Happy to see him go. So
like a survivor vote off. He went home unanimous. They did not care. They were happy to see him go.
Yeah, I think the social aspect of the game is really underestimated. Like, it's shocking to me that early on someone was so isolated, because I think more often you see that later in the game when people are really being more selective about who they're sharing like concrete information with. So to make that kind of choice so early on is kind of shocking to me. But I guess in that sense, not so surprising that people were like, okay, your time.
I mean, when you're Ian and you think that this is leading to the identity of the mole, or at least going to limit down your options significantly, you don't really need anyone else at this point. Like if he thinks that this is real and honest, he's like, I don't need anybody. But yeah, I think there were crucial time periods where there was bonding that was happening, and he just wasn't involved in that because he was off doing the envelope and the box of it all and solving puzzles and shit to find phrases. So,
and it's so weird in the mole format, because any other game, when you find something like that, you're wanting to have close allies to solve it with. But in this type of format, it kind of is like you can't have that because you can't get to the end and all know the game. So it's kind of, I get where he was coming from.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have done that.
That's hard. Yeah, exactly. Like if you think it's real and it's going to give you the identity of the mole, you don't want anyone else to know it. So like he was right to keep it to himself. But you face the consequences of said actions on the back end, and Yeah, I mean, ultimately, a lot of people kind of expected him to be an early boot because they saw that he was so focused on the contents of the box, and so people were just like, feels a little early to be heavily focused like on certain suspects, whoever they may be. So, but yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that's just it. Wasn't the edit trying to like edit around like the good things and try to be like, ooh, wow, shock value. It was like, no, I just think a lot of people were like just either mid on him, like they were just like, whatever, like didn't have a bond with him, toodles. And for the few people who were annoyed, they were like, it's either because of the box or they just felt like they were being avoided, whatever the case. But
so did the truth come out right after that it was fake, or did the people that thought it was the truth kind of still be like, what happened?
I don't know if Emily came forward with that info. Most people thought it was fake. So I think most people were just operating that it was fake, and then him going out only kind of solidified that it was fake. I don't know if Emily owned it, to be honest. The story of the box kind of dies. When Ian goes, like, no one really cares about the box anymore. It pretty much is a non-factor moving forward. So I don't know.
We'll have all that work for just to get one person out.
Hey, I mean, it was a kill shot, and like, bravo. Bravo. I mean, I have to give it up because it got. I mean, if Emily's not the mole, it guaranteed her not first boot and moved to the next round. And in a game like this, one more round is maybe all you need. All right, let's hop in to the episode. So the first thing we get to is these dice. And you'll get to see more of where this leads in the next episode. But this is right after Ian's execution. Everyone gets 10 dice of a certain color or design. And they're told to hold on to them. They have to hide them around the house. The trick was you could not just leave them on your person. So if you were awake, they could be on your person. But as soon as you go to bed, they need to be off your person because I'm not having people strip search people for fucking dice. So that's why people are hiding them around the house and trying to hold on to their dice, because there's a reward for someone who steals dice from others. So there is an incentive to take other people's dice, but also you want the dice to all stay in play, because at the next mission they have to present all their dice. And for any dice that are missing, money's going to get taken from the pot. So they want all the dice to be there. And ideally, they want to keep their own, but also be taking others. So that's what they spend
where I would hide mine
doing. Wait, what?
I know where I would hide mine.
Oh, God.
In the back of a toilet.
Oh, so true.
Like, if someone's checking there, then they also thought of it, so they got the luck of that. But there's no way anyone would be checking that area.
I'd hope not.
No bathrooms. Okay.
But I don't know. I think some of Taylor's dice might have gotten stolen, and he put his dice in his nasty damp sock in a trash can. This cast was hungry for dice. It was creepy. Like, Cooper's on the roof. People were hiding shit in crazy ass places, and then the next morning seeing how much was stolen, I was like, y'all need Jesus. Like, I mean, we told you it was encouraged, but like, it was shocking. I mean, you'll see. You'll see.
The recreations were so funny. Like the redone the next day, that had me dead. Like at first I was like, what's going on? Like the first one I thought it was potentially real for the first. Then I saw it said like recreated the next day, and then like who was it? Steph is like totally playing to the camera, like all of that. Like that was a lot of fun as a viewer. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I would say the production this season, props to all y'all, between like the audio, the visuals, the before and after. Like, it's definitely enhanced in the best way possible, and I hope it continues to go that way, because I'm the same way as Simona. I thought it was real at first. I was like, they're talking about it being nighttime, but it's daylight out. I'm confused, and there's everyone right there. Like when Michaela was putting in the water bottle, I was like, how's she hiding it right in front of it? I was like, oh,
no, and
not in real time.
And all credit to Prod. Like, I mean, like it's not a one-person show. Like, obviously, I'm not the only person on production. Like, all credits. I mean, Foser really worked hard on the audio this season and making sure everyone was mic'd, and a lot of the newer Prod members, or even the returning ones, just had great ideas to like improve the production quality. And like Carson and Jack Miller were very big on like, we want to refilm these recreations, because we knew they were gonna get the dice late at night, and obviously we were not gonna go out and we didn't want to film them hiding them in real time because then it's obvious where people are hiding them. So they really were wanting to recreate them. I was like, please be my guest. Just make sure you find that time. I don't have that time. I'm writing quizzes and busy doing everything else. But like, thankfully they really took.
Sir, I know it would take a long time, but if we ever get to subtitles, I really appreciate it because I'm the type of person that will read the subtitles of any movie.
Does YouTube not? Are they not auto subtitling our videos anymore?
No, not currently.
How rude! That's quite. I don't know if we have to turn that on. I actually don't know, but I just know that YouTube sometimes auto subtitles, and honestly, I will be suing for them not doing that.
That makes sense. If it's okay.
But that's the dice of it all. You'll see more because the dice do play a bigger role into an actual mission in the next episode. But the other thing I want to talk about that you see at the very end of the episode, so jump ahead. So Alex does get a secret temptation. The secret temptation would go to whoever took the red dice, which was Alex, and you'll learn more about what he has to do to earn an exemption in the upcoming double. But if you are given a temptation to get an exemption to double, are you doing it no matter what it is? Oh,
yeah.
In the tunnel.
I would. Are we gonna wait?
Oh no! Hell no! Sorry, love.
I would give up a lot of money for that. I'll be honest. I'll give up a lot of money, especially just those first few weeks when you don't know you can't really pick up anything. And obviously Ian was obvious that he wasn't the mole. So you didn't get any information from that. So if we have to restart back at 0,
there I am.
Totally fine with me. I would be okay with starting back at 0 because also what I've noticed with this cast is, and we'll probably talk about this later when it comes to the mole, I think so many people are trying to be mole-like and give up money. And if I was a regular person, I'd be pissed that why am I not giving up money if everyone else is?
When you left, Simona, we were asking, like, if you were given a secret temptation, like Alex was, to get an exemption at a double, would you do whatever the temptation was?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sorry, I went to read the chat and then it refreshed the page, which was a bad idea. But no, yeah, at all times. Like, if you're handed, like, especially a secret opportunity for, like, an exemption, even a +1, like anything. Now you're telling me an exemption in a double? Like, I'm throwing it all out the window. Like, it's a hard balance because, like, if you're going too hard for an advantage, like, it can become apparent that you're a player rather than the mole. But sometimes that's worth it to just like to make it through a double so early on when it's already such a crapshoot. Like, it might be worth the sacrifice to be like, yeah, people might rule me out for this, but like, yeah, I'm doing what it takes for a double execution exception. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what's so hard about being a player in the game is you want some sus on you, obviously, because you want people to be misled and possibly think it's you, but like you also have to prioritize yourself and like wanting to get further. So it's always that hard battle of like, I want this advantage, but like I don't want to come off too player-like and they rule me out because of it. But also people try and like don't want to seem nervous at the execution because they're like, ooh, if I don't look nervous, they'll think I'm the mole. But like it's also hard when you're like shitting bricks.
Yeah.
Simona's lived it. I mean, those and Liz, I think, speaks about at the top of the episode. Like, it's nasty. Like, an execution ceremony sucks.
Yeah,
like,
no, it's really intense. It's really intense. And I think now, having played 3, like, I've gotten my nerves under control a little bit more in those situations. But I remember during Subversion, I was so incredibly nervous. And, like, apparently for good reason, for one. But, like, I was just like unwell, and like especially when I'm really, really nervous, I get really shaky. And like, look, I've done some acting. I did theater in high school, you know what I mean? But there's like only so much you can really do to like control that kind of like true anxiety. Yeah, it's hard.
It's hard.
See, with this cast too, I think everyone's trying to be a big personality and be mole-like. Like if I was on this season, I think I would just quit the facade and focus on figuring out the mole because so many people are trying to do both. They're like, let's figure out the mole and be the mole, like, and all that stuff. And I'm like, I would just give up that part of it and just be like, let's focus on this and not try to put up a facade, because I think I probably wouldn't get away with it, like if I was trying to act like the mole. So why would I waste my energy on that? I'm like, let's focus on winning the game versus confusing people in a sense.
And it's a little early, but it's gonna be the boot that happens in episode 6. Yeah, it's episode 6. The person who goes home there is heavily suspected, and they're one of the few people who I don't feel like put on a facade. Like, they very much were like not trying to look like the mole, and that just read authentically mole-like. So it's funny, like sometimes I think the people who try the hardest to look like the mole, it ends up backfiring, and people who like aren't trying at all, it ends up getting them heavily suspected. So it's this game is so unpredictable.
Yeah, that's a little bit how I feel about Emily, watching her this episode also, where like just the way she's acting, where she's like, oh, we don't need to talk to them. And just like some of the ways that she's like communicating, I'm like, this is like saying, oh, we'll just go for a number and not even communicate and things like that. Like some of that, I'm like, I don't know. It feels too obvious, especially when you add the layer of the envelopes and all these other things. Like, I feel like she's really laying on the suspicion. And, it's highly possible that at the end of the day, she is just the mole. But I think it'll at least take a little bit for people to, like, shake that suspicion off her. Because it is hard to ignore when someone's, like, kind of moving in that kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
And with everyone doing it, I feel like I would definitely look the opposite way. Maybe that's just how the season is, my opinion, and we'll probably get to it. The mole's hiding in plain sight while everyone else is making themselves look like doo-doo-doo fool clown.
Well, let's hop into the big mission of the episode, and then we can talk through maybe who's hiding in plain sight and who's not. So we're playing some SVL bingo. So 2 players who volunteered, which would be Julia and Stephanie, are going to be our daubers. And then the other 12 were sorted into teams based off of, so when our butterfly effect twist is always happening. So because of the future quiz that they took at the beginning of the season, we have some leftover questions each time they take a quiz. So now they're only taking an 18-question quiz because 2 of the questions are already being applied from early on in the season. So at the very end of each quiz, questions 19 and 20 are just like fun little ha-ha-ha, he questions that end up affecting the next round. So one of the questions was, what team do you want to be on? And based on who answered what and how quickly they answered, determined what teams they were on. So this is one of the few instances that they don't actually get to choose their teammates, which could be bad, could be good. I mean, obviously, it depends on who you ask. Some mole players want to be with their mole suspects to see them in action. Some mole players would rather be on a team of people they trust inherently. So for the quiz, they can completely exclude their team from that answer choice. It depends on who you ask. So we got Stephanie and Julia are our daubers. And then we have our 3 different quads. So our no balls team is Jabbar, Sammy, Sterling, and Emily. Our balls of steel are Colby, Liz, Alex, and Ben. And then our plays with balls team is Cooper, Michaela, Steph, and Taylor. So what's happening is our dauber players are playing bingo. Every so often I'm reading out a bingo number, and they get to cross it off one of their boards. But Julia and Stephanie can reach out to the other teams to try and request specific numbers, because typically in bingo, you only win by sheer luck. In this game, you can request specific numbers by the other quads being successful at their missions. And if they are successful, then they earn that number. However, if they're unsuccessful, then Ian gets a free ball to cross off whatever he wants on any of his boards. So the races basically will go until 5 boards have been cleared between Ian and the daubers will earn $20 per board. All that fun stuff. So our no balls team, which is Jabbar, Sammy, Sterling, Emily, they are in a tree pose trying to get to as close to 60 seconds as possible. But the number that they're going for is how off they can deviate from the 60 seconds. So 15, they can be anywhere between 45 and 75 seconds. So larger numbers are quite easy for this team, and the smaller numbers are quite hard. Our balls of steel team is the domino team that's trying to build one consecutive length of dominoes for a certain length to get a certain number. Lower numbers are easier for them because those are the ones that are closer. So 1's really easy for them versus a 15 is really hard. And God bless our Plays with Balls team. They are each given one bocce ball trying to land in particular rings to add up to a certain number. So if they're going for a 3, their balls need to add up exactly to 3. God bless them. The grass was awful. This wasn't the house you were supposed to be in. We got a new house 3 weeks before the game started because of just Airbnb tomfoolery. So it was different grass. It was wet. It was muddy. They were dealing with some real bad conditions. So I give them slight benefit of the doubt. But it was also not a great showing for them. Anything you want to talk, because I've been talking a lot, anything you want to start with in this mission? I mean, Julia and Stephanie might be the easiest ones to start with, because Julia is kind of a menace during this challenge.
Yeah, I mean, we could start there. Like, I understand where Julia's coming from. Like, something that I'm sure I said last season on the after show also is like urgency. Like, some of these people just have no urgency at all, and it's so frustrating. And just no sense of like, how like we must do this. I do think there's some people where we sense a change from the previous episode. Like, I think in episode 2 Sterling is like super chill about the challenge, and in this episode she's a little bit more on it, which I think was really interesting to watch that difference. But yeah, with Julia, I understand where she's coming from. It's like, look, if you're gonna suck, if you're just gonna give Ian the numbers, you're not helpful. Like, you're not helping us. I get it, but of course to hear that isn't particularly great either, because ultimately the reason you're there is to play, right? You're there to play. You're there to do these challenges. So to be like, just sit for the next hour, like, yeah, I'd be pissed.
I will say maybe also Julia's frustration is like she has no control of what happens outside of her little realm. So like if I was in her shoes, if someone's messing up my money in my game, then I'm gonna have them sit on the bench very politely. But maybe I would have given that team a little bit more grace and time. But I agree with her motive.
Yeah, it was rough watching in real time. Just because, again, like, and Julia and Stephanie have no clue what the other teams are even doing. Like, they're completely in the dark. All they're getting told by me is if they were successful or not, if they earned the number that they wanted, or if Ian's getting a free ball. And like, Ian's also antagonizing the fuck out of the two of them. So like, it's a stressful environment for those two, and like, I could just feel for both of them. I'm like, God, this is miserable. And like, yeah, you're at the mercy of everyone else. You kind of can see it on the board. Like, the bingo boards are only numbered 1 through 15, but they earned a prize every time they completed a horizontal row. So there was still some strategy in terms of what numbers you crossed off, which ones you didn't, and like choosing all of this. So they had some strategy there, but yeah, a lot of it is not in their hands. They can only request what they want, and they're just sitting there hoping and praying people will deliver what they want.
The no balls team, can I ask about the rule again? So it was like, it literally had to be like, say it was like 10, it had to be either 50 seconds or a minute.
It had to be somewhere within that bracket.
Within or exact?
It'd just be within. So if it was 10, they just had to be between 50 and 70 seconds.
Yeah, I'm like...
Okay, maybe I'm more on her side. Sit down.
No, because watching it, I was like, to be exactly on, that's gonna be really difficult no matter what the number is, like, no matter who you are. Within the range, come on. It's not like it's like 15 minutes where like, because somewhere along the way there, yeah, you're totally gonna get messed up. A minute? Yeah. Come on, you guys. Like, come on.
Let's hop to the no balls team, because yeah, I mean, and I think they say it many times. It's all 4 start in the tree pose, but the time stops and the last person exits the tree pose. So they end up then reverting to like only Sammy and Emily are going to do the tree pose, and they'll figure it out together. But the counting was atrocious. Like, I mean, you see it initially. Sterling is counting fucking not 1 Mississippi, like 18 Mississippis, and then we're heading to 2. I was like, Jesus Christ, this is slow. Which is why they mess up the easiest number for them at 15. Which was crazy when I got the text, because the people running the challenges are texting me being like, hey, this team failed this number, this team succeeded. So when I got the text that no balls failed 15, I was like, how? Like, politely, what the fuck happened? Like, this is the easiest number to get. But now I see why, because the counting was bad. And then, I mean, Julia, again, y'all can have your opinions on their reaction to Julia, but Julia's message of, if you're gonna suck, just don't do anything, really took a toll on this team, to the point where it started off as, we're just not gonna do anything, and then turned into, now we're just gonna give them numbers they don't want.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, you see the moment where I tell them that no balls has earned you, and they're like, yes, an 11, and I'm like, 12. And they're like, what the fuck? We don't want 12. We don't need 12. Like, they just started antagonizing them because they're like, fuck Julia. Like, that was rude, and now we're just going to take it out on them. What are your thoughts on just that team? There were some confessionals about who was egging it on, who wasn't.
I mean, in a way, if they're trying to get urgency, at least they're just trying to get a bunch of numbers and do a bunch of stuff. Who knows where it could land on versus just sitting there. This is me trying to be nice. Like, they're just trying to get as much as they can, and that's.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, I do get it, but to me, also, it reads very player. Like, if the mole is in that group, or if the mole is not in that group, it's like thrilled. But to me, it reads as, this was authentic emotion. Like, this was an emotional response rather than like trying to be suspicious or sabotage or throw things off or anything. It was literally like a fuck you, which I think was interesting. But then we also start to see some of these dynamics, like within the team, where Sterling is like, why doesn't Sammy understand the rules? We're like 2/3 of the challenge, like, you're missing, and like all of those dynamics I think are also really interesting. But yeah.
Yeah, they were such an interesting group because I think, let's see here, what do my notes say? They overall, so they earned, let's see here. So they earned 4 balls for Julia and Stephanie. So they earned 4 balls. Now, were all of those numbers that they wanted? No. And then also they gave Ian 4 free balls. So they were, gave four successes, 4 not so successes. And yeah, just like the playing in your face and like, we're just gonna give you numbers you don't want, was just real fun to watch. And it was just such a fun time now seeing what that group was doing, because all I'm getting is texts being like, why the fuck are they going for these numbers? They're not asking for them.
Like, I hope someone is actually the mole in that group, because that is probably the best cover that they could have gone. It was so emotional, and they just said, I'll do it. Like, they probably got away with, if a mole's in that group, scot-free, easy points for them, easy throws, and they had a good time while they did it too.
Catherine from US Mole Season 1. Sorry if you haven't seen it. So sorry. It's been 25
My
years.
queen. My queen.
Has a very iconic quote about the mole's like best job is if the mole can break apart the group dynamic. So the worst emotion you can have in this game is annoyance or frustration with each other, because the mole will eat it up. And so, like, if the mole is on this group, they see annoyance. Oh, you want to throw just to piss off Julia? Fine by me. Let's do that. It's an easy in to now just start fucking with the challenge. No one's going to look at you weird for doing it, because why not? All 4 of you were in on it, and all 4 of you can't be the mole. So, yeah, a very fun moment. Let's head to a not so fun team. And again, the grass was bad and, it wasn't the house we wanted. It is what it is. But again, I will say that I don't think it was as hard as they were making it. Is the balls team, the playing with balls team. So again, they were trying to roll balls into certain numbered rings. They knew, they were in a row. So like the first row, I think, was -1. The next row was 0. Or no, not 0. It'd be 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. So they knew what they meant, and they were trying to roll to get a sum equal to whatever they were getting. And they could practice as much as they want. And as Taylor said, practice wasn't going very well at all. And I think Taylor says it best about Steph. They keep trying. Like, if practice isn't going well, you don't have to attempt. You can just not attempt anything. Like, I know that's like a shitty situation to be in and like not, fun. But you're giving Ian free balls to then clear his boards, which means it's not boards your team is clearing, which means it's not money you're earning. And I think they end up giving 4 free balls to Ian, and they don't earn a single correct ball for Stephanie and Julia. So
but we want to talk about the no balls team being so bad.
Yeah, I mean, no balls was bad. Playing with balls was even worse. And like I knew it would be difficult. I didn't think it'd be as difficult as it ended up being because I thought they still could get a 1 or a 2. I knew they probably weren't going to get a 14 with the grass that was there, and that's just sometimes how the cookie crumbles when you get a new house 3 weeks before production. But the fact that they were even going for 13s and 14s. I mean, Taylor said it being like, why the fuck are we even attempting this? Like, this is stupid. Like, we're just giving a free ball to Ian, and that's exactly what happened. So it was crazy seeing them go, yeah, why not? We can't even score 2 points. Yeah, let's go for 14.
Maybe I missed it, but was there anyone besides obviously Taylor like leading charge on that? Like,
so Taylor was pretty quiet. It seemed like a combined effort between Steph, Michaela, and Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
Like, someone would be like, should we just go for it? And the other should be like, yeah, sure, why not? Like, and it kind of gets to the point where you're like, well, we've been standing around for 20 minutes, might as well. Like, why not? So, like, what's the worst that can happen? Like, well, giving Ian a free ball sounds pretty terrible to me, but
I mean, yeah, Cooper seemed pretty frustrated, especially from like his opening like confessional where he's like explaining how it works. He's like, "You're gonna see a bunch of nothing from us. Like that's what you're about to see," and we did,
Yeah, and they certainly did. Yeah, I think they should have focused more because I think they go for what do my notes say? They end up going for 1, which I fully agree with. You should have gone for 1. They failed, and then they went for 4, 9, and 14. 4 I can stand behind. Yeah, I should have gone for 4. Based on how your practice was going, I would not have gone for 9 or 14. I would have stuck to maybe 1 through 5 and called it a day.
Mm-hmm.
So there were some odd choices made within this group. I won't lie.
Because then maybe the people with the board could have pivoted, be like, oh, they're all small numbers. Let's see where we can go from there. Like
exactly. Like
I think the best action in a game that you're not doing well is to just not trying to hype up that first group, just give them some options versus no options.
Instead of just giving Ian, like giving them false hope. They're like, we need a 14. Yeah, we'll go for 14. Bitch, you're not getting the 14.
Yeah.
So you're giving them false hope, and then you're not going to get it.
No.
Yeah.
But that's another challenge.
Yeah, but another... Yep, no, exactly what you were going to say.
Where the mole could have easily hid, and we don't know if there was throwing. Was there throwing? You really couldn't gauge that, and I would have hated to have been in that group the most, I think. not because the challenge, but like in a game of physicality, it's very hard to tell. You don't know these people. You don't know if they're actually good at throwing or they're just doing it because they could be the mole. Like it's very hard to tell, and that's the group I would have I would rather have been in the group standing on one leg and all that debauchery.
Yeah, this was a fun group because I mean you've got Taylor who's being more quiet than normal, and anyone who knows Taylor, that's already a red flag. Like and he was also quiet in the mess in Mesa, not providing a whole ton of strategy, and I think people have really taken note of that, being like, why are you so quiet? This is not like you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Michaela pointed out that he's last in the throw order, which they decided. It didn't have to be a throw order. But for whatever reason, they stuck to a throw order where Cooper would go first, and then I think it was Steph, then Michaela, then Taylor. So for the most part, Taylor's throws don't mean shit. So if he's the mole, he's easily just hiding in plain sight. It's like, well, we already lost. My throw doesn't matter. Versus like Cooper sets the tone for how the round may or may not go.
And he is someone I am suspicious of. So that was probably not my first pick if I was in that group.
I don't know. I don't know if I think it's Cooper.
Cooper's such a volatile pick. Some people are like, yes, Cooper, and everyone else is like, fuck no, not Cooper. So I'm enjoying this Cooper debate. There are people who are like passionate, and there are people who are like, absolutely not.
No one's in the middle. It's different when you're not in the game and you're a viewer.
Yes.
So I am just going straight off social reads. And like that's what I can't imagine. Like Simona obviously has played in person, so she can give a little bit more than that. But as a viewer, it's definitely harder to kind of pick out where that is.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. There are some people where I'm like, the way that their confessionals are going, I'm like, if you're the mole, like, it up for the viewers. Like, yeah, that was kind of how I felt like about Sterling in episode 2. Like, the way that she like was doing the challenge so nonchalantly. I'm like, that's even just like that's not there's no reason. No one's watching you right now. You know what I mean? Except for the viewers, right? I'm like, if you're the
Yeah.
mole, you're really playing this up for us. More than anybody else in that moment.
Absolutely. It's the fun part about being the role is you can totally be whoever the hell you want to be in the confessional booth because no one's around besides a production member who obviously still doesn't know that you're the mole, but like you can still like you don't have to ham it up if you don't want to, or you can. It's totally up to you. Let's get to the final group. So our final group is the Balls of Steel, who do the best of the teams. So they don't get a single. They don't give Ian anything. So they never fail a number. They do end up earning 1, 2, 3, 4. They earn 6 correct balls for Julia and Stephanie, and this is Ben, Colby, Liz, and Alex. So they do quite well in terms of providing balls for them, but they didn't provide as many as I thought that they would. Like they were kind of like when we were designing this, we're like the tree post people are going to get the higher numbers. The bocce team is going to get the lower numbers, and then the domino people can get all the numbers. Because really, it's just stacking dominoes. Sure, 15 is harder than 7 because you have to go longer, but overall, it's the easiest of the options to guarantee you're going to get it. And
but
so I expected
to blame the wind.
Yeah, the wind, which I don't know how the wind was blowing. I was inside. I don't know how much the wind was blowing, but there definitely were moments where dominoes were falling over. I mean, Liz, really all 4 of them were culpable at multiple times with their hands being involved, and all of a sudden, there went the stack. So while I do think they did well in terms of providing correct balls, I do think that there was way more opportunity to provide a lot more than they ended up doing. So maybe it was slow, maybe it was dominoes knocking over left and right, maybe it was the wind, who's to say. But
no, if I was a regular player, this is the group I'd want to be in because this is like all eyes on deck, who's doing what. And I did notice some people that I was suspicious of doing maybe accidental knocking over, but it could have just been an accident. So I think that would have been the group, obviously.
I don't know. We did a domino challenge on Michigan Mole All Stars, and we didn't accidentally knock the stack over a singular time. Like, not once did that happen, and there was no wind, but like that was never. Like we lost a domino, there were things like that, but no one was accidentally hitting it over. Obviously completely different challenge, different context, but I was surprised by how many accidental knocks I was seeing after that experience that I had, where I was like, that was literally not an issue at all. Like, come on, you guys.
Yeah, there was a lot of knock, and I didn't hate their strategy. Like they all kind of took a different segment of the line and then just conjoined all their lines. But definitely it allows one person to make one mistake and then whoopsie daisy, there goes someone's progress is gone. There definitely were a lot of knocking over, but again, maybe the wind, maybe the act of the mole, maybe
the mole is the wind.
Maybe the mole is the wind we found along the way. Who's to say? But
so like Alex in flip-flops, I've noticed that, like, what are we doing? Like, we're playing basketball in flip-flops. Now we're building dominoes in flip-flops. Like, come on. If I was wearing flip-flops, I would knock the dominoes over because I'd be, like, losing my balance, like, squatting on the ground like that. Like, come
on. That is an interesting take, Simona.
Just something I noticed. More from the basketball. I was like, yeah, of course you're going to be bad at basketball. You're wearing flip-flops. Like, come on.
Also, he should have, not to go back to that episode, took in one shot and been like, I'm done.
Yeah, like after seeing what Michaela did, it was like, maybe you should have realized pretty quickly this is not for me, and I can bank my time and give it to someone else who maybe is better at this than I.
Like Simona would have given up right away, but
But I mean, there also was some. I mean, I said on the after show, like there were some strange picks in that group. I was like, I felt like being good at shots or being good at taking shots would indicate that it's basketball, especially because there's a basketball hoop and you've got some real tiny people on that team. I was like, I would have gone for the taller people. Just a thought. Maybe the more athletic who can run around and shoot the ball. Just some thoughts, but to each their
I
own.
will say, based off the previous season, there's not been as many physical challenges.
No.
So this season's definitely amped that up, which I really appreciate as someone that's not the smartest. I prefer that type of stuff. So I do like that aspect of it. And I think maybe going into it, they're not expecting we're going to do basketball, we're going to do bocce. What are they going to do? Mud wrestling next? Who knows?
I mean, the grass is muddy because those people watered their lawn. It felt like the sprinklers were going all day long. It's like people water. It's not going anywhere. It's gonna be
a slip and slide.
Yeah. We honestly should have. Lee, write that down.
Write that down.
But altogether, like they end up earning. Is it
60.
the maximum amount of money? Like they earned a lot. That was significant. Okay, that still felt significant.
They got 3 out of in the race to finish 5 boards. They got 3, and Ian got 2. So overall, like 60 out of 100, not terrible. I mean, luck played a factor because 2 of the teams weren't helping a ton, and the third team just wasn't going fast enough to get them more numbers. So inevitably luck kind of took over, and it felt pretty clear it was going to be 2-2, and it would just come down to luck in the end because each team can only attempt one number once. Like once one team did 1, they couldn't do 1 again because that would just be pointless. So it reached a point where it's like they needed numbers, and all 3 teams were either like, we've already done it, or like, it's not going to happen. So we're not even going to attempt it. So it kind of like reached a standstill of, all right, well, whoever gets a number they need first is going to win. So overall, 60 out of 100, not terrible. Pretty good for them. And that brings us to the end of that challenge and the end of the episode, because we've already covered Alex's secret temptation, or what potentially might come of it. Mm-hmm. So now it's your time to tell me, like, who are you looking at? Who's suspicious to you? Why are they suspicious? Who's giving you winner energy? Who do you have faith in? It's kind of your final thoughts moments as we head into next week.
Do you want to go first, or?
I mean, sure, yeah, I can go. I mean, I think winner-wise, I don't know. I think it's so early. It's anybody's game. I've really been loving Liz's confessionals. I think they're a really great narrator, and I'm loving the way that, like, I'm hearing their thought processes. So, yeah, I'll put, like, a potential winner pick on Liz. Mole-wise, it's the same thing. Like, I think it could literally be anyone. I feel like it would be the most unoriginal thought in the world to just be like, it's probably Jabbar. So I won't say that, but it very well could be Jabbar. Also, I don't know. I'm kind of on Sammy right now, to be honest. Okay. It might be Sammy. So I think those are my thoughts at the moment. Taylor is swirling in my mind a little bit, Ben in my mind a little bit, but yeah, gut check, perhaps.
Correct me if I'm wrong, the first 2 seasons were guy winners, right?
They were, yes.
So I definitely think a women's taking it this season.
Here's open. We need more women mole winners.
And I do have to agree with Simona that Liz is currently my winner pick. I think, and what the other cast have said, that she's taking really good notes. She might not be like an obvious like mole pick, so she might just be focusing on herself. I think she kind of has the all round of it all. If not her, Steph would be a good kind of contender. I could see winning the game. And when it comes to the mole, I think I already kind of have my pick based off these past 2 episodes. I really have a feeling that Colby could be the mole. And my thing is just based off social vibes, like the first execution, his mannerisms, the way he was presenting, like some people were either overacting or underacting, and he was right in that middle spot. Like I kind of Sammy would be another one where I think she's underacting, and then you have what is her name? You have Sterling who's overacting. So I'm like, he fits that middle kind of character where in a cast full of big personalities, if he slides right underneath there and is the mole, and I saw him knock over those dominoes first, and I think that he did that early and then tried to get away with it and make it seem like it wasn't him. He was like, let me do this right out of the bat. If it wouldn't be him, I kind of feel like it could be Cooper, just a social read. No other reason besides a social read.
It's early.
Mm-hmm.
It's early, and like, I mean, Simona has seen a bunch of mole seasons as well. Like, no mole ever acts the same. It's so hard to predict how a mole is going to act, and it's probably like the worst thing you can do in a mole game is predict how you think the mole would act in terms of mannerisms or what team they would be on or how the mole would sabotage this mission, because we cast any of the 15 people on this cast and they would handle the season in completely different ways and would handle each mission completely different in how they wanted to sabotage it. So that's what's so fun is like
season 1's mole was an overactor and season 2 was an underactor. So that's another reason why I'm like, maybe they watched the first 2 seasons and they're like, I can't be over the top and I can't fly underneath the radar. It's gonna be too obvious.
Exactly. It's a classic case of when do you stop reverse psychologying your arguments? Like, oh, they could do this, but if they're thinking this, then they're going to do the opposite. Or maybe if they're thinking that, then they're going to do the opposite of that. And that's just, it's so early in this game. And like, most people aren't ruling out people this early. I mean, besides Ian, because of the stupid envelopes in the box, and he was so focused on that instead of the game. But other than that, most people are keeping their options open because, yeah, it really could be anyone, and the mole could be hiding in plain sight. This cast has given a lot of opportunity for sabotage on their own, if they mean to or not. I mean, just a simple statement from Julia derailed a whole fucking team. Something as simple as that caused such a trickle. And it's just, this cast is giving the mole a lot of ammo to work with. So it's like, is the mole super big adding to the ammo? Is the mole doing more sly things that adds up to the ammo? It's such a fun dynamic. That's why I love this format so much.
And I watched one of the previous after shows, and I definitely can tell that we're not getting a lot of money this season.
I think I did say to Mole Watch that this is the lowest pot of the 3 seasons. I mean, I still think they do decently. They're not like awful. Like, they didn't do that poorly.
But no one's walking home with $1,000.
No. Definitely not. And the mole thanks them for it as they pocket whatever 2,000 minus their pot is. So the mole thanks them much for it. But any final thoughts? This has been an absolute joy. Any final thoughts on our cast? Anything else you want to get off your chest before we head on out?
I'm excited to see, obviously we know it's going to be a chaotic season. The chaos within the challenges, I'm really looking forward to. Like, I know the challenges might seem like a little long, but like I do enjoy watching them because you never know who's going to say what, who's going to do something crazy out of the loop or try to be a mole and do something. Mm-hmm. So I look forward to that. And like the production, I'm really excited because obviously y'all have upped it 10 times fold.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what advantages, what disadvantages, all that come into play. And definitely excited for this double and to see who's out next.
Now, gotta start eating bitches, get less suspects on the board, less people think about all the fun stuff. And yeah, like SVL bingo in terms of the frustration that this cast felt with one another is just the beginning. Like this cast, they go at it a few more times this season. So if you enjoyed the feistiness, there's only more to come, I promise.
Free picks of who you think the double elimination.
Yeah, who do you think's going home next? Yeah, who do you think's going home?
I have no idea. It's so hard to know. It's such a crapshoot at this point.
It really is.
Okay. I want to say maybe Stephanie.
Ooh.
Just because maybe some notes were not being taken. She wants to go to bed early, just a little bit about that. And then I could see a shock of like a Sammy going home. Like that would be a really good shock. Just because she is very highly on everyone's mole suspect list. And like, I don't know much about her. So I'm like, it would be just a crazy, just like, oh, there she goes. And now everyone has to redo what they think.
Yeah, Sammy's an unknown entity.
Write that down. Write that down.
Yeah.
You saw him? I thought you were going to say something, Simona.
Oh no, sorry. My bad.
Oh, okay. Well, that's it for this episode. It's been an absolute joy and a pleasure. So for Simona and Zach, thank you for recapping episode 3. And this was so much fun. Episode 4 is going to be June 4th at 9 p.m. Eastern every Thursday. And then I'll be back a week from today. So we'll be back on a Tuesday, June 9th, with just singular guests. Not two, just one. Just one guest to recap the double execution and all the shenanigans that are about to ensue with the dice, the secret temptation, and a completely different mission that I don't think they yell at each other for. So that's at least a break in the yelling. But we're heading on out. Bye, everyone. All